Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world right now. And let me give you my case. As you know, game one happened a few days ago, and the Nuggets pretty much just dominated the whole game. The Miami Heat fought, but it just seemed like it was just Denver the whole entire way. This whole playoff run, they've won every single game one. This is their playoff run, and then Denver realized that. They realized what they do. They realized they've been perfect at home and they stay perfect at home so far, and they punch Miami in the mouth and they say, "This is our home. We're the better team, and you got to beat us here to try to win that series." And that's what they showed at Nikola Jokic. He probably had the most smoothest, probably the most quiet triple double. He had 14 total assists. A man in his playoff debut, the last player to have a playoff debut and have a triple double was Jason Kidd, and it was a 2002-2003 series. And I mean, and it was like the fourth quarter, we were getting there. Miami started to heat up, and then Nikola Jokic was like, "All right, I guess I gotta score now." He ended up with 27, ridiculous. Exactly 27, 14, and 10 rebounds. I mean, he's going to sit there and he's going to throw assists all day, especially how Michael Porter Jr. was shooting KCP, Bruce Brown. I mean, and then Jamal Murray with 26 on his own. I mean, if they keep playing like this, I don't want to overreact too much to game one because it is game one, and I respect Eric Spoelstra because Eric Spoelstra is, one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's up there and he will adjust. But I'm more worried about who else is going to step up, because you did have Caleb Martin, who only made one shot. He had 3 points. Max Strus, who didn't make a shot at all. And I don't think that those games will happen. But if you have games where they're struggling, they were struggling so horrible that it looked bad. But if they struggle just a little bit, it's still going to be, because especially how, like I said, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., and then how Aaron Gordon was playing. Aaron Gordon was low key the MVP of the game, starting off aggressive, going at people, aggressive to the basket. I mean, he wasn't on Jimmy Butler as much, but Jimmy Butler only shot 14 shots. He ended up with 13. And if Jimmy's shooting like that, then man, it's gonna be rough for them. Bam Adebayo was aggressive, of course. With the whole scheme, they forced Jokic to go up, and it left Bam pretty much by himself down there. And I think if I'm the Denver Nuggets, I learned to live with that. And of course, Michael Malone will try to limit that. And he was like, "Hey, Bam can have as much as he wants, but everybody else is not going to score." And I'm okay with that. Nikola Jokic's offense, his defense it's okay. It's good. I don't think, it's decent. I'll say it's decent. I think people kind of, they kind of exaggerate how bad it is. I don't think it's that bad, just because he's not catching people in the perimeter like we see Giannis and sometimes Joel Embiid do. And, he's not the ultimate shot blocker like Brook Lopez is, but, he was of course, he's a few tiers below, but, they kind of over-exaggerated. Bam was aggressive, 26, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and you had Haywood Highsmith. He was electric. We'll see if it was just that one game or if it was, if he's going to be the one that pops off, because especially if Caleb Martin and Max Strus playing like this. Gabe Vincent was decent, but it was just Jimmy Butler only shooting 14 shots. They need Bam being like this and Jimmy Butler shooting over 20 shots, pretty much round one. Jimmy is what they need to at least have a chance in the series, because, I said in my last video, I said Nuggets in 5. I said history repeats from the 1999 Spurs-Knicks series. And man, that's what the Nuggets. This Nuggets team just looks so good. They look so. They look so. I don't want to say more like a team, because the Miami Heat have had their moments, but they just look so well oiled and so. The motion was just go. It was just beautiful basketball. And man, I hope the Miami Heat can pull off a game. It would be kind of upsetting to be a sweep, but I'd be kind of happy. Nikola Jokic, for him, I would say he was one of my favorite players in the league, and for him to win a ring, that'd be amazing. For him to put himself up there as one of the greats, and be up, above that Giannis level, and where we see the greats like Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. Man, and I mean that would be the icing on the cake for him in his career. But of course, the way this Nuggets team is built and how the money is locked up. I mean, they gotta fix the role player situation, especially Bruce Brown might be leaving. Um, I mean, I don't want to say it's too early because they still got to win this one, but this could be a Nuggets team that makes runs. That's like a dynasty, the next dynasty. I think the Golden State era is done, and then I think now we're going into the Denver, and then I mean we don't really know who's next in the East. We have to figure that out, but oh man, pretty much for the Heat, I don't think Max Strus and Caleb Martin will have bad games like this. You need them to be on fire. Gabe Vincent just needs to do what he does. I think he made 4 3-pointers, and then Jimmy Butler needs to be more aggressive. I think you have it. And one other thing, the Nuggets, the minutes without Nikola Jokic weren't good, but they weren't bad either. And that was the one thing I said in my last video, that Miami needs to take over. When Nikola Jokic is not on the floor, they need to take over those minutes because there's not that much offense. And now we're probably seeing that Tyler Hero is probably being missed a little bit of his offensive creation and his shot chucking whenever Jimmy's off the floor. And I mean, we're probably missing it. And then they said game 3, I think he could be back, but I don't know how much. I mean, I think he could come off the bench, be that 6th man. And, oh, man, like, how much do you rely on a guy who had his hand broken in a wrist and then we don't even know he's coming? Like, it's just the reports of him are kind of like on and off, on and off. And yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to rely on a guy who had a broken hand in the first round and hasn't played in a few months in basketball. Yeah, to solely depend on my championship odds on that. I mean, it would help. It would be great if he can do it, but to solely rely on that, you're going to need Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Jimmy Butler, be more aggressive, and then Haywood Highsmith. And in other news we have Joe Mazzulla, Brad Stevens confirmed that he will be back, and they're hoping to keep Jaylen Brown, to fix that whole situation, that he is a core part of the future, which, I mean, I didn't get these whole things about them threatening Joe Mazzulla. Yes, he had moments where it was his fault. He did have a few moments, but he also had a few stinkers from Jaylen Brown. I don't think it's Joe Mazzulla's fault for Jaylen Brown having a loose handle in Game 7 and, having the ball stolen from him. It felt like a million times. And, I mean, I don't think it's Joe Mazzulla's fault that Jason Tatum rolled his ankle in the first possession. And it is disappointing for him to see this from a team, especially firing your coach out of these. I mean, I don't want to really speak on Ime's allegations and all that and what happened. And it's not for not going to the finals. It is a disappointing season, but I mean, at least I guess you can say at least push it to 7. I mean, first round against the Hawks didn't look pretty. The Sixers didn't look pretty, and then I mean, it all caught up to them playing all those extra games that they should have played in the past series. Like honestly, the Hawks series should have finished in 4. It shouldn't have took, I think, to 6. I think, and then for the Sixers series to take to 7, it's just ridiculous at that point. But yeah, Joe Mazzulla stays the head coach for the Celtics, rightfully so. We had Frank Vogel yesterday get hired as the Phoenix Suns, and I think they said this is Kevin Durant's 4th head coach of this year, which is crazy. And I don't really see much what this is. It's a good hiring. Frank Vogel was pretty much off for a year, and man, yeah, I don't really see much. It's just I have to see more what's going to happen with this roster. And then in other news, Adam Silver, before the press conference, he said that there is more stuff that they're investigating with the Ja Morant situation. And I mean, I like how he kind of left it on a cliffhanger though, that he's not going to announce the length of the suspension, but Ja Morant is already suspended by the Grizzlies, but what the punishment is by the NBA. And I mean, I don't really know, because it is the second time they're really looking into it, but they're not going to announce until after the finals, so they won't take the spotlight away from this finals, which I agree with that. But I mean, I don't really know. Would it be a whole season? A whole season without them would be insane. And I think it would be a majority of the season. I think about half the season, because I mean, I don't think they should count any of the offseason, because it's offseason, nothing's going. He's still going to get paid. I mean, what are you suspending him from? Oh man, I think it would have to be like from training camp. He can't go into training camp or anything like that. To I think how about because it's like I don't want to say to the All Star because that's a long time, but I mean we'll wait and see. And if it's in 4 games, then we'll know sooner than later. And what is it? Pritchard said that he requests a trade and will not play for the Boston Celtics next year. My guy, you are on a team option, I believe, and I think they would just rather decline than trade you away and get anything. But I mean, he wants a bigger role. I don't mean to disrespect him, but I mean, come on, man. Um, yeah, I think that was one of Joe Mazzulla's mistakes that we were talking about earlier. He was putting Pritchard when he didn't need to. But I mean, I don't really have much thoughts about Pritchard. I hope he finds somewhere to go. I have no idea where he would go to or be traded. I think they just don't take his team option because I think it's like I don't I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably like about good $1 to $4 million. But comment down below. Thank you so much. We did reach our goal of reaching 100 subscribers. We are now on the goal to 500. You know, we got big jumps to take. We're here to grow, and I'm here to put out more content for you guys. So we'll see you next time. Peace.